We all know who Mr. Kenneth Petty is, but do you know his criminal background? Well, I did the research, so you don't have to. And here's everything that I could find. So just a little backstory on their relationship first. Minaj and Petty attended LaGuardia High School in New York City together when they were teenagers living in Queens. They dated briefly at the time but lost touch over the years before reconnecting in 2018. On October 21st, 2019, Nicki confirmed that the two were married. In September 30th, 2020, Nicki Minaj had confirmed that he and her had a child together. Now, he did serve 4 years in prison for sexual assault, and the details of the crime are truly horrifying. Moving on to his criminal history, Mr. Petty was convicted of attempted rape in the first degree in April 1995 for an assault the previous year of a then 16-year-old girl. He was sentenced to 18 to 54 months in prison and is listed as a Level 2 registered sex offender in New York. He served 4 years behind bars for the assault. According to court records from the 1994 case, the 16-year-old victim explained to cops a terrifying situation in which she was allegedly abducted and violently by Mr. Petty. The victim told police that on September the 16th, 1994, in Queens, New York, she was walking down the street when Petty came up behind her and placed a hard object against her back, and it made a clicking sound. The victim believed Petty had a handgun against her body, and he instructed her to keep walking. The two walked to an address down the street, and she claims Petty forced her upstairs into his bedroom by pushing her from behind with what she believed to be a handgun. Inside the room, the victim claimed that he laid his weight and pinched her sides and squeezed her neck, causing her to sustain bruises and pain. She then claimed that Mr. Petty began to assault her. Now, the victim did state that she tried to escape, but Mr. Petty brandished a knife and held it against her stomach, telling her, quotation, she could not leave. The victim claims she eventually struck Mr. Petty with a plastic bottle and escaped. She reported the incident to police, and the same day they responded to Mr. Petty's home, they arrested him.
Your name, sir?
Julian Petty.
Mr. Petty, and your name?
Kenneth Petty.
Okay. My name is Paula Aylward. I'm an assistant district attorney. I work at the Queens County District Attorney's Office in Queens. Today, on September 16th, 1994. What do you wish to say about that?
I saw the girl on the boulevard, of Rockaway Boulevard. I was walking down the block. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning for school, and I went to wake my uncle up for work. So as I was coming back, I bumped into this girl named Jennifer, and her friend was walking. It was a male friend, and I know him. He's my friend. So we talking, and she was just sitting there. So after that, I just left, and I went back to my house. So I went to sleep, and my uncle had left and went out to work without locking the door. So the next thing I know, police was up in my face, talking about I had raped somebody, and I did not rape nobody.
Okay, you saw Jennifer today?
Yes.
And who was she with?
She was with this boy named, I think his name was, what's his boy name? I know him too.
Well, let's start with how you,
I know his face. I know his face when I see him. But I know his face when I see him, but I'm not sure about, I know his first name is, what's his first name? I think it's, Donovan, it's something like Donovan.
Okay. If you think of his name.
Petty was charged with 5 crimes: rape in the first degree, sexual abuse in the first degree, unlawful imprisonment in the second degree, assault in the second degree, and criminal possession of a weapon in the fourth degree. He later pled down and was convicted of attempted rape in the first degree and served 4 years in prison. And he is still a registered sex offender to this day and must regularly check in for updated location information and photos as a warning to the public. Now, Ms. Minaj did defend her new husband and even spoke, claiming he was 15, she was 16, in a relationship. But go off internet, y'all can't run my life, y'all can't even run y'all own life. And I was able to locate his date of birth. He was born April the 7th, 1978. And on the day of September the 16th, 1994, he was 16 years of age. Mr. Petty has also pled guilty to manslaughter in the first degree for killing a man named Lamont Robinson in 2002. He was originally charged with second-degree murder during the 2006 trial, but a plea bargain reduced the charge. In the complaint, it stated, quotations, the defendant, Kenneth Petty, shot the deceased, Lamont Robinson, with a loaded handgun multiple times, thereby causing his death. Petty was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released after serving 7 in 2013, and he was on supervised release for 5 years. We do all know about the harassment lawsuit that was filed against Ms. Minaj and her husband in August of 2021. Ms. Minaj's name was later dropped out of that case, but the case was still filed against Mr. Petty. And in this suit, which it was the girl who was in 1994 by Mr. Petty, she claimed that Miss Minaj and Petty tried to use their money, power, and fame to threaten her into walking back accusations. In 2022, he also failed to register himself as a sex offender, and he was sentenced and fined $55,000. He was sentenced to a year of home detention for failing to register. We also know in September 2023, when Petty threatened Offset on social media, he was sentenced to 120 days of house arrest according to court documents. And this was because he was in violation of his probation. Now, let's fast forward to today. On October the 6th of 2025, Mr. Thomas Wiedemuller, which he was previously awarded $503,000 from Miss Minaj and Petty in a lawsuit over alleged assault by Mr. Petty in 2019. He just asked the court to order the rapper's home to be sold to help him collect on the money owed. Now, it is alleged that Mr. Petty ambushed the security guard from behind and sucker punched him in the face as retribution for the security guard stepping in to defend a female security guard during a dispute with Miss Minaj. Nicki Minaj was allegedly mad because a fan had breached a barricade, and she blamed the female officer, for which Mr. Wiedemuller had stepped in and tried to stop her, basically. After that, Mr. Kenneth punched him in the face. He ended up having to call emergency services, and he underwent several surgeries and stayed there for 10 days. So Mr. Petty broke this man's jaw, and the man stated, quotations, "I now have 5 plates in my jaw, and my jaw has not yet been fully reconstructed. The doctors still insert implants into my jaw as part of the reconstruction process." This is absolutely insane to me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you so much for watching. I know it's a bit lengthy, but Mr. Petty has a very lengthy criminal history.